It's as dangerous as you want to make it, I suppose. It's like anywhere else. You know? It's a city. It's a big metropolitan city. There's areas that aren't so good. There's areas that are fine. You know? I've never felt threatened or anything there. Though I've been mugged there.
It could happen everywhere.
Yeah, that could happen anywhere.
Born and raised there?
No, I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. Which is about 6 hours away from Chicago.
How does living with another comic artist?
Yeah.
I mean, do you both work at home?
Yeah. It's not a good idea. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. It's great, you know. She does her thing, I do mine. You know. We really don't cross over too much. But, you know, we talk to each other, we bounce ideas off each other, and.
But you never work. Did you ever work together?
No. No. That's why we're still married.
Any favorite comic book authors? What did you like to read when you were young before going professional?
When I was young, I liked to read war comics and like the DC war books, like Sergeant Rock and Unknown Soldier. And I liked reading monster comics from Marvel, like Werewolf by Night and Tomb of Dracula and that kind of stuff. Not superheroes. I read one superhero book once and it pissed me off so much it turned me off to superheroes. It was Thor 200. And the story, it just looked really cool on the cover because it was Thor and then the Midgard serpent, so there was this big monster and I was into monsters, so I was like, oh cool, that looks good. And I read it and it was Ragnarok, the story of Ragnarok, and they all died at the end. And I thought that was great. And then the next month I saw Thor 201 and I was like, what the hell is this shit? Those guys died.
Zombies.
Not happy end.
No. You know, and then I went and read 200 again, and it was just these three witches telling what is going to happen way in the future instead of what really happened. So that was my first experience with things don't stay dead in comic books, or characters don't stay dead, rather.
Any more questions?
Did you ever read Simonson's The Round 4?
No. Why? Did he kill anybody?
It's pretty cool.
Did he stay dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
No, I didn't. That was like in the 80s or 90s. Yeah, I wasn't reading superhero books then at all. I was reading like really underground independent books, like Dan Clowes and Peter Bagg, that kind of stuff that Fantagraphics was publishing.
Did you read or do you like any American?
Yes.
author?
Yeah.
Which one?
Which one did I just get that? But I just picked up. Oh, the series The Killer. I like that. Yeah. It's French. And of course, like Torpedo. That stuff. I have Torpedo in French. I have Torpedo in Spanish. I don't have it in English.
Why Americans don't like Torpedo?
Why don't they? They like. Don't ask me. I like it. Why don't they like it? Because they don't have no taste.
Yes, when you write down the script, how much space do you leave for suggestions? Or you write everything down, or maybe you leave some kind of for his imagination? My
scripts are very, very sparse. When I sit down and write a script, I write all the dialogue first. So, because you know, I gotta tell the story through what people are saying, so I really want to get that down, and so I know what the last line of the book is, and then I go and break it down into panels and into pages and stuff, and I'm not really specific about what has to be drawn. I don't think that's a good idea. If you know, if I had like such a controlling sort of personality, I think I would just draw it myself, because you know, I don't want an artist to be just my hands. You know, he's my collaborator, so I have to give him room to do his best work, and I think that's by just sort of explaining, you know, setting the scene, and you know, telling him what's in the, you know, what's in the room, what emotionally is supposed to be going on, and hopefully he'll understand that just by reading the dialogue. You know, he'll know the way these characters are supposed to be behaving. But I don't get specific too much.
Do you write differently for different artists? Like,
no,
it's all the same.
It's all the same.
Or Eduardo Reis, so it's
all the same. It's all the same.
As you write during the process, do you as a writer visualize this, or you write it through words, so to speak?
It's hard not to visualize it, especially if I know who I'm working with. You know, like when I was writing 100 Bullets, I was seeing it the way Eduardo, you know, would draw it. I kind of, you know, sometimes I get it right. You know, it's like, this is going to look, I know exactly the way this is going to look, and boom, it's like, you know, god damn, it's like we are, you know.
Especially after so many issues.
Yeah, we're too close, you know.
I just remembered when you started working with Eduardo, he wasn't really speaking English, right?
No.
How much of communication did you have?
We had a translator.
Okay. So you would write the script, send it to Lil Dennis, the editor, or?
Yeah, or send it.
Got it translated.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. When did Eduardo learn?
He's been learning. His English is pretty good.
Yeah, I know now.
Yeah.
But I remember first time when I met him, that he hardly spoke any.
Yeah. I didn't meet him till after, I think it was 3 years after we'd started working together. I was very apprehensive about meeting him. I thought that, you know, things are going really well right now. And
you're afraid to screw up?
It's like, what if we meet each other and we just like, you know, what an asshole.
We had the same situation last New York convention.
Yeah.
Where Jason Aaron and Guerra met for the first time after working on Sculpt for 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were both a little bit afraid of what's gonna happen, but I think that worked fine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sure.
Once you get started, you can't stop.
Yeah, you can't stop me. Have you ever worked or wished to work for European publishers?
Yes. I have never worked for a European publisher. Yes, I wish to work for a European publisher. I'm actively talking with a few European publishers right now.
Is your contract with DC?
That's maybe.
You have to negotiate.
Yeah, we're negotiating that. But I really want to do something in Europe. I wanted to do it for years.
Any particular artists you'd like to work with?
An artist that I haven't worked with that I would really like to work with is Jordi Bernay. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. Yes?
Just wanted to ask about the next project you have with Eduardo Reis. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
A little bit more about Spaceman?
Yeah.
You haven't been here from the beginning?
I wasn't here from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're gonna punish him for that, right?
We're gonna punish him, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's you know, it takes place like, you know, in the future, and there's you know, these two alien races are battling each other, and there's some dinosaurs in it too. Right? That's what I said before. It's more real than science fiction, but I gotta call it science fiction because it takes place in the future. It's more speculative fiction than science fiction, you know.
Will there be more Batman stories by you or with Eduardo?
Will there be more Batman stories with me and Eduardo? This summer there's going to be a Batman story that we're doing.
How long?
It's comes out in June. It's going to be the Flashpoint. DC's doing this big crossover event. We're doing the Batman story. It's the greatest looking Batman he's ever done. It's just fucking, it's stunning. I got pages from him last night, and it was like, whoa, he really knocked me out. So look for that.
How did you start? You and Eduardo started collaborating. How did you? I mean, was it an editor who suggested that you?
Yeah, who put two of you together?
Axel put us together. It was and it was for Johnny Double. It was a long time ago when technology was different. The Johnny Double had been approved. The first script was written, and it was time to choose an artist. And Axel said, "I'm going to fax you the technology thing. I'm going to fax you pages from 3 different artists and sample pages, and you just pick one. So, call me and we'll talk about it." Eduardo's were the first pages that started coming through the fax machine. I picked up that receiver. I don't know who the other 2 artists were. I still don't. It was like,
Could have been Jordi Bernat.
well, that's just my luck, isn't it?
Forgive me. What about First Wave?
What about it?
Is that still going on?
No, it's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
Just one.
That didn't work out so well.
Why? Because of sales or?
Yeah, because of sales. Fans in the U.S. were not, they didn't respond to, Doc Savage and some of those old pulp characters. They didn't want them. It's hard. Those people that read superhero comics, they tell you they want something new, and they're lying. They're saying, because what they leave out is, we want something new, but don't change anything that we know. That's what they're saying.
Are there any American artists that you want to work with?
Are there American artists I'd like to work with? Yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head though. That I haven't worked with. No. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it would depend on the project, I suppose. Like there's artists that I like. Like I like Doug Mahnke, but I don't know if he and I could, work together. I don't think our styles would really gel. That's and look, that happened with me and Jim Lee. Jim and I are like really good friends, and it's like, let's do this. And I don't know if it worked out so well.
Batman Europa?
Oh, that no, that worked. I'm talking Superman. Jim and I did Superman for a year. And I'm really happy with it, but it was tough.